What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 411th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I am your host, SBJ. With me today is Bobby.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to be back after a nice long break from recording.
Speaking of a long break from being on the show, Al is here.
Hello from very sunny and warm Europe.
I can't tell if that was sarcasm or not.
No, it's like 24 degrees here today or something.
Celsius.
Yes. Yeah.
What is,
not
that
Fahrenheit.
in American?
Yeah, what is that in American degrees?
75.
Oh,
Apparently.
okay.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
It's about my upper limit.
We got Bobby and Al here. Greg and Will out for the week. Hopefully they're being safe. Not going to miss a week here. I took the last couple days off Twitch just as a vacation, but obviously podcast still happening, whether, I don't know, the sun is in the sky or not. There will always be a podcast on Monday, so we're going to get through this and get you your Pokemon news.
Yeah.
I wish we knew what raids were rotating on Monday night, because Meowth will be over. So if you're listening this Monday morning and you have not gotten your Gigantamax Meowth, get it. But we will have some new raids on June 1st at, I think it rotates at 0 UTC, which is like 7 p.m. Central Time, I think.
I think it's because it's 4 p.m. Pacific. So I think it's, isn't it? Am I wrong?
It was 5 Pacific.
Is it 5? Oh, because time changed. Yeah, my bad.
I don't know. I don't understand UTC.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Steve.
Well, it's kind of worse for me, right? Because half of the year I am at the same time as UTC, and then so most of the time when someone says UTC, I don't have to calculate anything. But then in the summer, I obviously have to add on an hour, which is annoying.
Oh, lucky you, because yeah, we're like 7 hours or 8 hours behind depending on the time of year.
Wait,
Yeah,
you guys do daylight savings time too?
Yeah, not for long though. Hopefully,
Really?
Europe's getting rid of it.
Smart move.
Although it's not confirmed whether the UK will or not. But let's not get into that. Europe is the European Union is getting rid of daylight saving time.
All right, well, let's jump into the news I have in front of me here. I think most of this is good news. This is off AnimeNewsNetwork.com, the internet's most trusted anime news source, according to their tagline. This actually just came out right before we started recording, but the Pokemon Journey TV anime resumes new episodes on June 7th after the COVID-19 delay. This is the first time that the Japanese anime has kind of been off the air for quite a while, but they're back on June 7th. The staff was temporarily suspended, part of its production series due to the coronavirus because of the state emergency declared in Japan. Japan has lifted the state emergency nationwide this past Tuesday. The Twilight Wings was also delayed, but the 5th episode is scheduled for June 5th, and I believe there is no word for the new movie, which was supposed to come out July 10th. There's no rescheduled date for the Coco movie, but the Japanese anime returns on June 7th, Twilight Wings for everyone on June 5th, and then for US customers, the first 12 episodes of Pokemon Journeys TV adventure. I don't know what was the series called? Pokemon Journeys. The series.
The series.
That comes out on Netflix on June 12th. And then
So that delay didn't hold up the first 12 episodes? Were those filmed? Were those
they were filmed in front of a live studio audience.
So what episode were they on in Japan?
22, I believe.
22.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Got it. That makes sense then.
And that was on the 18th of April.
Oof.
I believe this is the longest gap in since the Porygon episode in the anime.
What was that?
That was
2 weeks?
It was a 4-month one, actually.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, it was from December the 16th till April the 16th.
There was more than the Porygon episode. There was other...
Yeah, but they were all short. They were all like just a couple of weeks.
Yeah. That was like Japan's huge initiative to like change a bunch of stuff. Because, yeah, Pokemon wasn't the only cause of that.
I was going to say, wow, that big hit for that one episode.
If you're one of our Canadian listeners, it's already on, the first episode of the anime already appeared on Teletoon, on May 9th.
I also believe it's either happened last Saturday or it's happening next Saturday that the first 4 episodes are airing in the UK. But then we don't get any more till September.
What do you? Is it just your regular TV, or do you? Well, you guys have Netflix and Hulu and everything, but
we do, but we're not. So we're getting it on a TV channel that I'd never heard of before called Pop.
It's like a new channel.
No, apparently it's been around for ages. But yeah, they've announced that they're going to do. I think it's 4 episodes on Saturday or last Saturday. I can't remember which one.
So 4 altogether, like in a row?
Yeah, I think so. 4 on one day, and then we're not getting any more until September.
What an odd choice.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the movie being put on hold, that doesn't surprise me. Just because that's probably more due to the movie theater situation than it is,
yeah,
the movie itself. And I don't see movie theaters. Well, I guess some are already opening, but I feel like the smart decision would be to keep movie theaters closed for a longer period of time. So
this is the first time a Pokemon movie has not debuted in July.
Yeah.
Assuming, I mean, I guess it could come out like July 30th, but yeah, it was originally scheduled for July 10th. So we don't have a date on that. I'm sure Anime News Network, the internet's most trusted anime news source, will keep us up to date. We'll just knock out the Pokemon Masters news right away. Just some new characters got added. Full disclosure, I do have a partnership with DNA. Dawn and Turtwig have been added to the game. And she'll run between May 27th through June 10th. And I believe Jasmine and Steelix are still a banner that you can pull on. And I believe there is the flying type event is still going. Flying type training event is still going to June 4th. And then the Battle Villa refresh will go till June 11th.
Okay, so I have played this game for about a total of 12 minutes.
Okay.
Ever. So, Al, have you played it at all, or are we in a complete world where it's just Steve?
No, I
at this point?
I think I'm the same as well. Yeah, we're going to really miss Greg on this one because, I started it and went, yeah, no, I'm all right, thanks. I didn't find it fun.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I think that if I wasn't already playing other mobile games, I may have picked it up, but it was just another game that I didn't want to jump into. It just didn't grasp my attention as quickly as I would have liked. Yeah, I'm Steve. I assume you're still playing and pulling stuff and trying to get the best pairs and everything.
Yeah, I'm more trying to get like one of every pair, which is now seemingly impossible. It feels like, because at this point I'm just pulling a bunch of duplicates.
Right.
I don't ever sit there. I've said this on the podcast before. I don't ever sit there and play this game like an hour straight or 2 hours straight or try to like get everything done in a day. I just do a couple matches when I wake up, do a couple matches right before bed, and that's it. And it's been enjoyable for me. But that's how like other mobile games I played, like Clash Royale. I'd wake up, I'd do like 2 matches. I'd be like sitting at a dentist office, I'll do a match. Like right before bed, I'll do a match, and that's it. Like I never sat there and played like 3 hours of Clash Royale in a row. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Just
not your style.
not my style. But
see, I'm the opposite. I think like I have a hard time if I pick up a game just playing it for a few minutes and putting it down. Like if I only have a few minutes to kill, I'm either going to be hopping on Twitter or Instagram or something, I like to be able to sit down for a little bit of time and play a game. And obviously that's made Pokemon Go a bit different now that it's all at home instead of being out walking around. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of just the open it for a couple minutes and close the game. Doesn't really work for me.
The main reason I brought up a lot of these dates is like Dawn and the Battle Villa and the Flying type event is they're all ending the second week of June. I don't know. Look, I don't have any inside information, but it's no secret that the Sword and Shield TLC is coming out sometime in June. So I'm just curious if there will be, just like how Pokemon Go has which we're going to talk about, the Galar Pokemon being added. I'm curious if Masters will do anything of the sort, because
I'm sure they will, right?
Yeah.
Because they always all match up together.
Which is cool, which is very cool of them to do. Mm-hmm. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
So Galar Pokemon and Pokemon Quest confirmed?
Yes, Quest will get updated and Masters will get updated at the same time.
Oh, how I wish.
I was actually thinking about going back and playing Quest again because I was going through my games on my Switch and went, oh, that was a fun game. I didn't do it, though. I thought about it, though.
It's a good game. I love Quest. Quest is a great game.
All right, speaking of the Pokemon Go stuff, we have a whole schedule here from Niantic about what's coming to Pokemon Go. And this is off PokemonGoLive.com. Zekrom's Pokemon Go debut and more in June. People like the Zekrom. Let's start off with the best possible news. June's research breakthrough encounter, Trapinch.
Yay!
From June 1st to July 1st, Trapinch, the Ant Pit Pokemon, will be available in Research Breakthrough.
Just what we always wanted.
Yeah, right? Because that community day less than a year ago wasn't enough.
I was actually quite liking having Shinx because, it was a weekly chance of getting a shiny Shinx.
Same.
Well, now you have a weekly chance of getting a shiny Trapinch.
Actually, I still have, today is my research breakthrough. So I can get one more chance at a shiny Shinx today.
Yeah, you better get that. You better get that Shinx. I would. My quick read on the internet is people were unhappy about the Trapinch. It's still, we're over 6 months now, and people are still complaining that there's a lack of legendaries in these research breakthroughs. I feel like that boat has sailed. I don't know.
Look, the new thing to complain about is they're not in Go Battle League anymore, right?
Right, yeah. So they've left Research Breakthrough, they've left Go Battle League, and now you got to buy that remote raid pass if you want to get them from your home.
Yeah, and I don't like to complain about these things too much, but even if I do buy a remote raid pass, I'm never going to be able to get the legendaries because there's nobody near me playing just now. I used to get all of my raids in Edinburgh, which I can't go to legally just now. So, oh well.
Gotta wait for those invites.
No one doing those 6 p.m. raid hours for you?
Oh, no. No, the issue is I can see one gym from my house. And everyone that is in the vague area is like miles away. They can see other gyms. Like, I'm sure it's great for people in cities, but it just does not work here.
Kind of, but it's funny. I can actually see 12 gyms from my house, and those raid hours still, the people, like the groups that I'm in, like the Facebook Messenger or Discord groups that I'm in, they all just happen to be a little bit further east than what I can see. Even though I can see 12 gyms, none of them ever have anybody actually raiding, for the most part, during those raid hours. I mean, I'm grateful to be able to see 12 gyms from my house because I can do a lot of solo raids. But when it comes to those tier 5 ones, it's a little bit harder for me to do them, even though I have so many gyms around me.
I go to the same park on Wednesdays. It's the same group of people. I almost used the word awful. Pretended I used the word awful. They're fine. They exist.
Oh, no.
It's just 45 minutes of hearing them shout about shiny 100 IV Pokemon they caught during the last week. How to pronounce
Rayquaza. How to pronounce Lugia.
I wasn't standing close enough to them to, like, the only word that's ever stands out from when they're yelling at each other is the word shiny. But I wasn't standing close enough near them to hear them pronounce Reshiram. I feel like Reshiram's pretty easy to say.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think that's too bad. I just like the image of Steve pulling up to a park it being like your whatever music you're playing in your car. And as soon as you turn your car off and get out, it's just 12 people yelling at each other for 45 minutes. And then you getting back into your car, music turning on, and you driving home.
That's 100% how my Wednesdays are.
It's fine. Just wait till Arceus comes out. You'll have fun with the pronunciation of that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be terrible.
Hopefully by then they've figured it out.
An in-game thing that pronounces the names. That'd be nice.
Would be great.
Is there even a Pokemon? Okay, so when research had legendaries, people complained about that. This is the problem. Is it's not? I don't think poor Trapinch getting all the hate, but I remember specifically when it was Latios in research, people were complaining that like, oh, Latios and Latias are just, we have enough, we don't need them anymore. Give us something else. Or if it was Zapdos or Articuno or Moltres, people were like, oh, it's Dex filler. None of these Pokemon are actually good.
It was really bad when it was the Regis pre-shiny, and everyone was like pitchforks in the air, running toward Niantic headquarters. Just, yeah. I mean, you're never going to make people happy.
They could put Dialga and Palkia in field research with a 100% chance of shiny, and people would still complain. Because, like, after the first week, they would be like, I'm sick of seeing, like, I don't know what Pokemon they could put in field research that would make people happy. And it's field research. It's so easy to do.
Right.
I think you're thinking about this the wrong way, right? Don't try and think about which Pokemon would make people happy, but think about how they could change it to make people happy. So obviously this is a lot more than just deciding which Pokemon to go into. But if they had a way for you to actually be able to decide which Pokemon you got out of a group of them, then I feel like that would be a lot closer, especially if, say you could choose between a legendary or another Pokemon that is guaranteed to have very high stats. That sort of thing would probably keep most people happy within reason.
That's true. It'd be kind of fun if there was like you get like a choice of legendary or like you said, like high IVs or like really good Go Battle League or something, like you had options like that and then you work towards that. And
yeah, it doesn't even need to be like a specific, like choose a Moltres or a whatever. I'm so good up on the what's popular in Battle League, but it could be, as you say, just like groups of them, so you choose between which group you want to do. But that's probably a lot more work.
I think also people forget that, like, you get experience, you get a chance at a Unova Stone. I think there's probably still a Sinnoh Stone in that role, too.
Yes, because I've got them like 3 weeks in a row.
I was going to say, because all I'm ever seeing are Sinnoh Stones, so they're definitely still in there.
I need more Unova Stones.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we're complaining again.
Hey, I got 3 Unova Stones in a row one time. It was sweet.
Wow.
Nice.
I should have bought a lottery ticket after that.
Seriously.
I think the thing you suggested, Al, is really cool. It's just that field research is so incredibly easy that...
Yeah.
Especially now with them giving us a new task every night that's like transfer 10 Pokemon.
Yeah, every day I'm like accidentally doing one of these things, right? Like I just want to get to the point where I have no completed ones, because that little circle is always orange, and it's really annoying having it always orange because you don't know whether you've done one of those research or whether you've done one of the special research or one of the like research. Johto one, the timed ones. Yeah, it's really annoying. It's like, I just want to complete these, but of course I don't want to use them up because then I won't have one for tomorrow. It's a hard life.
Hey, I still have, there was you guys remember what was it? April Fool's event with the Krogunk, was it Krogunk and like Sudowoodo and
yeah.
All that. I still have the catch 3 Ditto task, which will give me a Krogunk, which I'm sure if I delete this task, it would have been a shiny Krogunk.
You're looking for those Dittos now.
Holding on to this. The other day I Go Plus to Ditto, and I was like, okay, so I just need one more. But I've been holding on to it since, I don't know, mid-April. I got the task like an hour before the event ended when there was all the Ditto spawning, so didn't have a chance to catch my 3. One day I'll get that 3rd Ditto.
Zekrom makes their electrifying Go debut on June 16th. The Deep Black Pokemon will be waiting for you to challenge in 5-star raids. It will be featured every Wednesday, starting June 17th, June 24th, and July 1st.
That's really interesting because that takes us into the time period after the DLC will have been released, right?
Yep.
So obviously they're going to wait till after that before anything related to the DLC comes out.
Well,
I mean, in terms of that legendary, the rotating through. I guess they couldn't. They have done overlapping events before, haven't they? So they could just annoy
you
everyone
better
by
believe
doing that
it.
again. Oh well, never mind. Ignore me.
You better believe they like to overlap events.
My
okay.
goodness, yeah.
So we got the Throwback Challenge 2020 special research. Congratulations to trainers who completed all 4 timed research lines. You've earned access to the Throwback Challenge Champion 2020 special research. Join Professor Willow as you rediscover Pokemon originally found in the Unova region and meet Pokemon originally discovered in the Galar region as they make their Pokemon GO debut. Complete all 4 sets of tasks in this field research to earn 5 rare candy. Reward encounters with Galarian Meowth, Galarian Stunfisk, and Genesect. I almost said Galarian Genesect. And Professor Willow's glasses as an exclusive avatar item. Unlike the previous sets of timed research, the special research isn't limited and can be unlocked at any time. Don't worry if you did not complete all timed researches. This is for Will. You'll be able to purchase a ticket for the Throwback Challenge celebration in the shop, which will grant you the same tasks and reward as the Throwback Challenge 2020. If you already have access to the Throwback Challenge Champion 2020 and you purchase a ticket for the Throwback Challenge Celebration 2020 special research in the shop, you will receive a version of the Throwback Challenge Celebration 2020 special research with the following changes. Each time you would have earned a reward encounter with a Pokemon, you instead will earn 10 candy for that specific Pokemon, and you will earn Stardust instead of Professor Willow's glasses. All trainers can still enjoy the event during the same time period. In this event, Galarian Stunfisk will appear in the wild, and you can hatch Galarian Meowth, Galarian Zigzagoon, and Galarian Darumaka and Galarian Stunfisk from 7K eggs. Plus, try evolving Galarian Meowth, Zigzagoon, and Darumaka. Okay. That
Try. They won't work, but try it.
The ticket, if you missed it, will be $7.99. You cannot use Pokecoins to buy it. You must use real money. I have a love-hate relationship with. It's fine. It's just annoying for somebody who buys like $100 worth of Pokecoins to last 6 months.
Yeah.
And then go,
that does feel like an odd decision.
It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons where Homer is like takes the kids to like the fake Disneyland, Itchy and Scratchy Land. And like the guy is like, would you like to buy some Itchy and Scratchy money? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he buys a bunch. And then he walks into the theme park and everywhere says like, we do not accept Itchy and Scratchy money. It's like 100% of what it reminds me of.
I mean, it's weird, right? Because you assume that the reason they're doing it, right, is so that you can't like use the free coins to do it. But by that logic, if they used the free coins to buy the ticket, they then wouldn't have the free coins to use on something else. And if they're the sort of person that isn't then going to buy the coins to make that up, they wouldn't have bought the ticket in the first place. So I don't think this would actually gain them any extra money. It just seems like a really weird decision to make.
It almost seems like, and I have no knowledge of this, haven't looked into it. If anyone has more knowledge, then great, please tweet me, whatever. But it almost seems like it's almost related to like a legality of when they call things event, like based on how they call things events, like in digitally and how it can't be in-game. I don't know. It seems almost like there's a standard behind it because like you're saying, Al, I don't actually see this making them a whole lot more money than what you're already saying. So it almost seems like there's something more behind it that has to do with, I don't know, something with their terms and conditions or something with the legality of how they're doing it. But again, I don't know. It could just be, hey, maybe we'll make a few extra bucks. would be.
I mean, I guess the one thing it could be, if it wasn't some legal thing that you're thinking of, you're suggesting, is I guess it could be kind of getting people into buying stuff. So
breaking
many people
the seal.
will not. Yeah, exactly. So many people won't buy coins, right? Because it's not really something they're buying. Whereas if it's especially the community day ones, right, where they're 99, like they're under a quid,
They're $1,
and
yeah,
you know that's really easy to just go, oh yeah, fine, I'll do that. And then if you didn't like have your credit card information in Google Play or iTunes, then you now do. And now it's much easier to then buy things in the future. And it's almost, it's a lot of people I've seen talking about, well, I'm not going to buy this because I don't spend money on this game. Whereas if they had already spent money on it, they probably would have done it. So maybe it's something like that.
That makes a lot of sense. I'll erase my last thought and go with yours, Al, because
makes less sense for the $7.99 ones, right? Because that's much less. That's a lot more to kind of commit to. Whereas if you wake up in the morning for community day and you say, oh, there's one that's 99p and it gives me a bunch of stuff, you're like, yeah, I'll do that. £8, that's quite a lot more.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say I like that this event is free for the people who did it. Although they probably should have announced the ticket beforehand, because when Will talked about missing the first week, he was like, well, now I have no drive to do the rest of the weeks because I can't participate in this event when it happens. So I do like, okay, if you missed it, if you were busy, you can still participate. It's $7.99. And there are definitely games that do that, like Final Fantasy 14. They have like a Halloween event or an Easter event. Like usually at the end of that event, you get like a free mount, like a rideable item, so you can ride through the world. So like for that Halloween event, it was, complete these 4 tasks in the 2-week period. You get this little witch broom that you can ride around. And then once the event is over, if you missed it, you can just pay $4.99 in the store and get that witch broom.
Yeah.
And it's nice because it's like the opposite thing of what like Destiny 2 does, which is, hey, only this week you can earn this one emblem, and if you don't earn it, it's gone forever. And then you start to get in this mindset of like, I literally can't keep up with all these events. And then once you like miss one, and then you miss 2, and then you miss 3, you go, I don't care anymore. But they don't want the player to not care, right? They want the player to care, to do the events. But at a certain point, if you don't give players a chance to participate some other way, then they're just going to walk away from your game.
Yeah, I mean, I see 2 sides to that, because I also am seeing. I agree more with let's give people multiple options to get something, but I'm seeing the side of, well, things aren't exclusive anymore because people can just pay for them, whereas I did all this work, and I'm air quotes work, to get the Genesect, and now someone can just pay $8 and get the Genesect as well, and it's not exclusive. And
well, I mean, that's not quite true, because you still have to do the work to get it, right? It's not as much work as doing all of the 4 and then the 5th one, but you still have to do all the 5th. It's not like you pay $8 and then Genesect just appears in your inventory.
That's true. That is true. And I agree. I also just think that it's okay. Like, first off, you can't even trade mythicals, so it's not worth anything, I guess, unless you go on eBay and sell your account to someone, which
shiny, legit, squared Charizard is at least worth $2. Come on.
Right. I know. I guess you guys went all through this last week, but I think that there's a lot of look at what I have that you see from, well, social media in general, but with these, what people want to call exclusives. And I think that who cares? You should be able to just give players like multiple ways of gaining something. So I'm okay with this. I also agree that it should have been maybe stated at the beginning, but I think they were trying to go for the surprise element and kind of do like or maybe they hadn't even have it planned in the beginning to do it that way. But when they realized a lot of people,
maybe they realized after the first week that not a lot of people didn't care.
Yeah, they're like, people didn't care enough or didn't complete it. So they're like, oh, we should give them another way of doing this. Either way, I think it would have been nice to have that said at the beginning. And then people would have had more of an option, whether, Will wouldn't have been like, well, now I'm over this because I can't do it. People I feel like may have been a little bit turned off by that, and then maybe wouldn't have been had they known that it was an option later that they could buy.
I guess they didn't say how much Stardust or that you would get instead of Professor Willow's glasses, but I don't know if it's like worth it for me or you two if you completed all 4 events to spend another $7.99. I can't.
Look, I have 190 star pieces, so and 7 million Stardust. So I'm not paying $8 for some Stardust.
Oh my gosh,
Bobby, you're like Steve with his rare candy. Use them or delete them, right? Don't
I also have 500. I also have 594 rare candy. So yeah,
people like drive me insane.
Look, I have the rare candy. Back up again. Wait, why aren't you cannot use it on anything?
My star pieces or my Stardust. So here's my thing. When I first played this game, I was in a very high traffic area where I worked, where we raided and everything all the time. So we just constant raids all day long. It was great. And I used a lot of Stardust then, and I powered up a lot of stuff as much as I needed. I was level 40, so a lot of stuff got as high as it needed to. Since then, I don't raid nearly as much. I switched jobs. I'm in an area where I don't work as much. Now I'm just at home working, so I don't raid as much. So everything I have kind of fits. Like anytime a new raid boss comes out, I have something that works against it. And I powered enough up at the time to deal with that. So lately I've been powering up more stuff so I can try to beat stuff with less people. But until remote raiding came out, like I just didn't really have a reason to power stuff up. So got up to like 7 million Stardust, And the reason I don't use my star pieces is because I forget I have them. So there's that.
I shouldn't judge.
You just have too big a bag.
I'm still the person that pops the lucky egg when I have like 4-star friends to check off.
Oh, absolutely. Same. I was telling a couple of people in the Slack the other day, I was like, hey, let's, line up we're going to hit best. Do you want to turn a lucky egg on? And people were like, aren't you level 40? Like, but there's still XP to gain.
Yeah, the number still goes up. The number
keeps changing. So, and I'm almost at 50 million, so I got to hit that 50.
If they hit the number, I don't think people would nearly care as much. But the fact that that number changes.
If they hit the number, I'd throw all my lucky eggs away.
Yeah, same.
Well, let me tell you, the minute I turned level 40, I deleted all my spare lucky eggs.
I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad.
Every single one I've got since then has gone straight in the bin. I do not need that nonsense.
I'm heated right now.
Look, Steve, if they ever implement the ability to send items through gifts rather than just random gifts, I will send you any lucky eggs I get.
All right.
I just don't want them.
Yeah.
If I could send them to someone, I would. It's just that I've only powered myself up to, I think, 1,000 space in my bag. I don't need that nonsense in there.
1,000 space. Yeah. See, that's my problem. Like you said, my bag is too big. I lose things. I have 89 fast TMs. Never going to use those.
Yeah.
Like 52 charge TMs. I don't go Battle League enough.
Delete them
for these things. Well, I can't
Come on,
do that.
delete them.
I can't. It's so hard to delete things.
Do you keep all your Pokeballs as well, or do you delete them? Oh, maybe Pokeball's a bad example because you use that with the Pokeball Plus. Great Balls then. Do you delete them?
Yeah, usually the Great Balls get deleted first. The Pokeballs I have to keep for the Plus, and then the Ultra Balls are usually like, I'll burn through all the Ultra Balls on Community Day because I don't want them to break out, so I'll just use the Ultra Balls on Community Day.
Yeah.
Well, Community Day is an interesting one. What I tend to do is I walk with my Pokeball Plus in one hand and my phone in the other. I tap, once the Pokeball Plus notices something, I tap on that Pokemon. If it's not shiny, I just get the Pokeball Plus to do it. Because I don't really care about catching everything. And if it's shiny, I'll do it manually, make sure I definitely get it. But yeah, like I don't manually catch most of the Pokemon on Community Day.
That's a smart move. I never really did that when I was out walking around. These last two I've been... Since this thing for me is, since the quarantine stuff started and the at-home stuff started, I had a baby, right? So I had a baby on March 1st, and then all the shelter-in-place stuff happened starting like right after that. So I haven't left the house for multiple reasons. But these last 2 community days, I definitely haven't been able to I haven't really got out and walked around. So what I have been doing is just Go Plus for like the entire 6 hours, because the incense are 3 hours a piece, right? So I've just been popping 2 incense. That gives me that 6 hours. And then check it every 30 minutes, your buddy brings you 50 Pokeballs or whatever. So just kind of check in on it. Hopefully I get my, 3 shinies and then kind of be on my way. But it's mostly just been Go Plus this last couple months. But once I'm out walking around and stuff, going to parks for community day again, I'll probably do that. Just check them and then Go Plus them if they're not shiny, because that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 more things to talk about Pokemon Go related, but we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we have some TCG stuff and some Pokemon Center stuff, so we'll be right back.
Yep. Please leave us a review on iTunes. That would be much appreciated. Otherwise, this has been another episode. Of Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. Of Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. Otherwise, this has been another episode. Otherwise, this has been another episode of Pokemon. It's super effective. Of Pokemon. It's super effective. Otherwise.
Not only do we have the Genesect event in June, we have 2 other events here. The Bug Out event is returning, and the Solstice event is returning. I think these are returning events, right? They happened last year.
Yeah. We've definitely had the Solstice one.
Definitely, yeah. Bug Out event, I feel like we had a bug event at one point, I feel like, but
yeah, I thought so
I don't know
too.
I don't know if it was like in June, but the Solstice event was, obviously, but
there's really no details here for these events, except the Solstice event will run June 19th through June 24th, and the Bug Out event will run June 26th through July 1st, and that's pretty much it. So they're both week long, assuming that there will probably be new shinies. I'm assuming there will probably be eggs where people will be upset about what is in the egg.
Of course, standard.
I am sure if somebody didn't complete the Genesect event, these events will block you from needing to do what you need to do.
Right. I think we already can tell what the shinies are. I mean, I think we're going to talk about it, but based on the Spotlight Hour events.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Spotlight Hour events highlight 2 Pokemon that are already shiny, 1 Fire-type Pokemon that's not shiny yet, and 1 Bug-type Pokemon that's not shiny yet. So
people were a bit disappointed by this. There's going to be no Spotlight Hour for June 2nd. Now, Pokemon Go will be down on June 1st for, I think, like 8 hours, they said. It's a pretty long time.
Yeah. First time ever.
Well, it's a database migration, so they want to make sure they've got a lot of time.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what they said. They want to migrate the database for some reason.
Okay, because I know they've
not given any details on it, but
theories and stuff, and you had everything from we're gonna get, I don't know, every shiny in the game, and then all the way down to no, they're just doing some maintenance and need to fix things.
Yeah.
I personally thought maybe it had to do with adding some back end stuff to like the social features they're gonna put out eventually.
I mean, the problem is, right, so it's not like they've never really had to have this sort of maintenance before, other than issues around login at the very beginning, right?
Yeah, we all remember those.
They generally deal with these things pretty well. So like adding in features generally doesn't make sense, right? The way that they do it is if they have a server change, there are, when you have a client, it can handle the old server and the new server. And the old client just handles the old server, and then when you want to switch over to the new server, you just don't let people log in unless they have the new client, right? It's pretty easy. So they've not really had any issues with that. Whereas a database migration, if they actually want to change what the database is on, because that's kind of a really intensive thing to do, and so they need to make sure that they get all of the data over correctly. So what they do is they just say, nobody can do anything at this point, and then we know that this is all of the data. We can migrate it all over, and we know that by the time we finish migrating, there isn't any new data in the old database before we then migrate over, before we then open up again. And so really, I think that's the only thing that would make sense, and I'm sure they've said it somewhere, but I can't find it just now.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would make sense. Now, I know very little about any of that, but I was wondering, like, if they did like a database migration, would they be able to do something where, you know how we have like, there's like data miners now who go in and figure all this stuff out before it happens? Like, is there a way that they could go in to be securing that so people can't do that? Or is that not going to ever, are there always going to be able to be data miners because of how the
it's
game
unlikely because it's mostly local data that they've been data mining.
Got it. Okay. Yep. Oh, right. Of course, because it's when the update hits, they're able to jump in and look at it that way.
No Spotlight Hour June 2nd, which is a bit of a bummer because I personally like the Spotlight Hours a lot, but it's the day after their maintenance, so that's probably the reason why. But Spotlight Hour will return on June 9th. It'll be Patrat, and you will earn twice the XP for evolving Pokemon. June 16th will be Numel. I think it's Numel. And you will earn twice the amount of Stardust for catching. Bobby, make sure you turn on your star piece.
Oh, yeah. Set a reminder.
Okay. Tuesday, June 23rd, which will be during the Solstice event. It will be Clefairy in Spotlight. You will earn twice the amount of XP for catching. And if you're lucky trainers, that's what it says here, you will encounter a shiny Clefairy. And then on Tuesday, June 30th, Kricketot will appear in Spotlight, and you will earn twice the candy for catching. So I think what Bobby hinted at was Kricketot will be the bug out shiny.
Numel may not, or Numel may not be, because I didn't realize that Spotlight event happens 3 days before the Solstice event starts.
Well, Clefairy makes sense for the Solstice event, because isn't Solstice like sun and moon?
Oh, right. And
not really, but there's a loose connection. But the solstice, hence the name, is to do with the sun, right? Sol means sun.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see them going, oh, sun, that means moon as well. Anyway, yeah.
And Clefairy evolves with a moonstone.
Oh, man.
Does this mean that Clefairy is permanently going to stay shiny like Sudowoodo and Magmar have? Unless they pulled those recently, but I'm pretty sure Sudowoodo and Magmar can still be shiny.
I think they can still be shiny as well.
It sucks that we have to say we think that Niantic left them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they did leave Magmar for sure before, so unless they just decided to randomly turn it off, then Magmar should still be shiny. I don't know. I think that they should keep them shiny. There's no reason why they shouldn't. I still think that Numel will become... It would be weird to me if Numel wasn't shiny, but they've done it before.
They did it with Purloin. They did a whole Purloin hour with no shiny. Right,
and then they've done a shiny for everyone after that, though, right? So even like Wobbuffet, that was what their debut of Wobbuffet being shiny in the wild instead of having to catch a...
Oh, really?
No, it was...
I don't remember Wobbuffet hour that well.
Wobbuffet was shiny in the raids when it had the party hat.
Yes.
But I don't know that people caught it. I don't believe it was shiny in the wild until that Spotlight hour, which makes me feel like the Purloin thing they had so much backlash for it not being shiny that they've done a shiny ever since. I feel like Numel will be shiny, but who knows? We'll see June 16th.
All right, final bit of Pokemon Go news here is save the dates. Pokemon Go Fest 2020 will happen around the world this July. Pokemon Go Fest will be July 25th and 26th. It's being fully reimagined in a virtual format that will bring fun to trainers around the world. This global event will take place Saturday, June 25th and July 25th and Sunday, July 26th. Ticket holders will be able to participate during both days of the event. Like previous Go Fest, Pokemon Go Fest 2020 will feature a weekend packed with bonuses, challenging special research, encounters with exciting Pokemon, and much more. Plus, you can look forward to connecting with other trainers and enjoy activities during Go Fest throughout the summer. And that's it. And in the picture, because everyone always overanalyzes The picture, we were guilty of this as well. There's a Cherum, an Oddish, a Jigglypuff, and a Alolan Executor in the pictures. And a Pikachu. And last year, I think there was a Haunter, which there was Ghastly spawning at GoFest last year. There was a Haunter in the picture. It meant nothing. I mean, besides, like, Ghastly was there. Like, there was not a single wild Haunter you could even catch at GoFest. It was just...
I think my favourite out of that one was that people were like, oh, it's a Haunter. That means that they're going to turn on shinies for all levels of Pokemon lines.
Right.
You're like, that is a really big stretch, right?
Yeah. I love those theories. That's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. There's not... I mean, obviously, like, the biggest thing about the picture, right, is that it's, like, in a backyard. So,
right,
like,
yeah, you know,
to go with
standard
the
California
setting.
backyard with very perfect plants and trees growing, and we all have that backyard.
Well, I mean, I said it's a backyard. I didn't say it was the standard backyard.
Bobby's like, it was actually my backyard. I hate you. I just offered them a photo, and they took it. A GoFest has been anywhere between, what, 20 to $30? You know, 25?
Yeah, there's no way it'll be as expensive as the real life one, right, though, because like that goes towards the physical event, whereas there aren't any costs relating to that.
Right.
But it's probably going to be more expensive than your Genesect or your Reggie, whichever one it was, Reggie.
I think those were both.
Big Reggie. There we are.
$7.99.
Yeah, so it'll be probably. I'm going to guess 15.
It's like Safari Zone pricing, right? What were Safari Zones? I think
they were 20
of them.
Yeah,
Something
Safari
like
Zone was 20. I'm going to say $12.99.
Ooh.
Okay. That seems low. That doesn't seem low. Like, that seems low for what Niantic would make it, in my opinion. It's going to be a weird number, I think, for one. It's not going to be like 15.
13,
it's going to be
27.
Like, right. I don't know if it'll be that weird, but I think it's going to be like, I'm going to go with $16.99.
Okay. All right. Do you think they're going to do an early access too, where it's like you get to play 2 extra hours?
Have they done that for any digital-only events?
Not when they weren't, right?
Haven't.
They did it for the Safari Zones.
Safari Zones and GoFest, they have an early access.
I guess technically the Safari Zones are digital only. It's just digital only in a specific place. Like, they don't have any pop-up stuff like GoFest.
That's true.
Maybe they will then. I don't know.
Did the Safari Zone stuff, it stuck with that, like, if you had that early access pass, you got a couple extra hours, right?
Yeah, but it was still only in the same location.
Wasn't there like an Explorer Pass thing you could buy for the Safari Zones too?
Yeah, the London had a City Pass, and I think Philly had a City Pass, but I don't even know what those entailed.
Do you mean London or do you mean Liverpool?
Oh, Liverpool, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, neither of them happened in real life anyway, so I don't think we can kind of jump to any huge conclusions.
My question was just for those, because they didn't happen in real life, did people get refunded for the Explorer Pass stuff? Because I don't know what it was going to entail anyway, but...
You could have applied for a refund, but you wouldn't have gotten that one-off day that people got. They take that away from you. And then if you opted in to take the makeup day, your pass is still valid for a future event, which they haven't disclosed when or what that would be.
Got it. Okay.
But if the future event is something you can't attend because you're out of town or you're sick or you moved, you don't get a refund at that point because you've accepted that you had a makeup day.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Good old legal stuff.
I was going to do the Liverpool one, but then me and my wife decided that I would only do one of Liverpool or Worlds, and I was going to do Worlds. Of course, neither of them happened, so...
Your wife was the real winner.
Nobody's the winner except the hotel and the airline, because I've not got my refunds for them yet.
Oh, no.
Well, hopefully you get them.
I'm meant to be getting them, but it's one of these things where they're like, it could take up to 90 days, and you don't actually get to request the refund until closer to the time anyway, because that was like August, wasn't it?
Yeah. I kind of had the similar situation with my trip abroad. I couldn't really cancel until like 5 days before.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I was actually meant to be flying to the Isle of Man a couple of days ago, and I have managed to request the refund for that, but it's not come through yet. So I'm in that weird situation where the flight never happened and I couldn't have got on it, but I've not got the money back yet.
Is there another Mewtwo raid there that you had to get to?
Oh, memories. That was good fun. I legitimately considered doing that, just flying over for the weekend just to do that, but I ended up not doing it because that's silly.
Got on a plane to do a Pokemon Go raid.
Look, and hey, my wife was up for it that time as well.
This is off. That's all our Go news. This next bit of news is off Go Nintendo. Pokemon Company and Mr. Donuts collab in Taiwan. Pokemon Company and Mr. Donuts have worked together in the past when it comes to Japan, but now the two are collaborating for the first time in Taiwan. Right now, there is just some artwork. New details coming on June 2nd. So there's a very cute picture of a simple Pikachu with 2 donuts floating around his head. If you don't know, Mr. Donut is probably like the Dunkin' Donuts of Japan. They're like everywhere. Very easy to walk into, get a donut, get out. They have done plenty of Pokemon. Like when I was there in Japan, actually, Andrew, who is our resident Japanese reporter, I went to Mr. Donuts with Andrew, and they had Pokemon toys for kids. So I ordered off the kids menu so I could get the Pokemon toys.
Nice.
Of course, as you do. I feel like I don't understand any more with your explanation of it's like Dunkin' Donuts. However, I also feel like it's probably not that difficult. It's a place, they make donuts.
They make donuts and they have coffee.
Right? Oh, of course, because you can't really have a shop that sells food without coffee, obviously.
Right.
Right.
I'm sure they maybe have tea as well. Probably.
So what is this?
I don't know why you bring that up.
So wait, what does this like teaming up include? Is it just...
They're announcing all the details on Tuesday, June 2nd, so we don't actually know.
Okay.
This is the best story ever. Something to do with Pokemon and donuts. They're both great things. You know, what's going to happen? We don't know.
I don't think anything bad could happen. It sounds awesome.
Oh,
I see no issues here.
Well, there is one issue, the fact that it's not here.
Yeah, that's true. There's no Mr. Donuts in America or Scotland.
Sad.
This is off, this was sent to me, Media Alert. Charizard and Eternatus make their Pokemon V-Max debut in the new Pokemon trading card game Sword and Shield Darkness Ablaze expansion.
Ooh.
I actually believe that this expansion got renamed last minute due to COVID, or that's the speculation at least.
What was it going to be called?
So it was originally supposed to be called, they changed it in Japan too. It's called Infinity Zone in Japan, but it was supposed to be called World Down.
Oh, yeah.
It was changed due to the negative connotations due to COVID-19.
Pokemon have a great history in that, don't they?
Huh.
So the English name is Darkness Ablaze. The Japanese name was supposed to be World Down, but they changed it to Infinity Zone. Sure.
Yeah, not great, but...
So Darkness Ablaze will introduce Charizard V-Max, as the fan favorite Charizard makes its Gigantamax form debut in the TCG, just like Pokemon Sword and Shield video games. In addition, trainers will be able to pull more Pokemon from the Galar region, as Pokemon V-Max, such as Centiskorch V-Max and Grimmsnarl V-Max. The legendary Pokemon Eternatus V-Max in its unique Eternamax form. I guess, I don't know if, was that ever
I've
stated in the games that was what its form was called? Eternamax form?
I don't know if it was stated in the games, but I've definitely heard that term before today.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in the code of the game, so it was definitely the miners got it out of that. I think, and I might be wrong, I think it might have been mentioned once when it went into its, so when you're battling it and it goes into, you think it's fainted and then it goes into Eternamax form. I think it says it in one sentence there and then never ever again. But I might be wrong.
So this expansion for us will have 7 V-Max. We already know some of them. I think this will also include V-Max Butterfree, because that didn't come out in the last set. It will have 14 Pokemon V cards plus 9 full art Pokemon V cards, 17 trainer cards, 4 full art supporters, 3 new special energies.
Are you still in the big on collecting the TCG stuff right now, Steve?
I'm still deep into too many cards on my desk.
Japanese and English?
I haven't ordered. You pulled my leg. I ordered a box of Infinity Zone, which I believe comes out June 2nd.
Okay.
But I did not order Volcanion's Explosion or whatever the last set was called.
What?
Explosive Walker.
Explosive Walker, yeah.
Volcanion's Explosion.
I did not order a box of that.
Okay.
But I do have a box of Infinity Zone on my way.
What does a box consist of? How many packs?
A box is 30 packs of 5 cards. Because Japanese packs are 5 cards, English packs are 10.
Huh.
Interesting.
I didn't realize Japanese ones were smaller. That's really interesting.
They weren't always, right? Because I used to buy a lot of Japanese cards, but this was a long time ago. And it was the same amount, I feel like, as English cards in the packs.
I want to say when they changed the back of the cards, which was like 2011, they changed everything about it. A US pack of Pokemon cards is ideally $3.99, but I feel like recently it's gone up to like $4.20.
Yeah, $4.29 usually, I feel like.
Yeah. So Japanese packs are 200 yen, which comes to like $1.80.
Yeah.
So it's the same value.
Yeah.
But
just more plastic.
Yeah.
But the sets are significantly smaller, and I believe, although I don't have I'm sure somebody on the internet in like a 20-minute YouTube video has calculated the odds, but people say that your pull rate is better in the Japanese set, but I don't know if it's better because there are less cards. So when Darkness Ablaze comes out, there will be over 185 cards in that set. But in the Japanese set, there's only 100 cards.
Isn't that due to the fact that the Japanese, there'll be another set that's 85 cards that the American sets put together into one set?
Right. So we didn't get Explosive Walker.
It's a terrible name.
And we're not. And so with the last set that came out, which was, what was it called? Rebel Clash. Rebel Clash was V-Max Rising plus Rebellious Clash plus one other set.
Okay. Right.
So the Japanese players get one set every month, and the English players get one set every 3 months. So they merge sets together.
Man.
And then these sets become very big and seemingly impossible to collect. So I bought, I bought 2 boxes of V-Max Rising. And so a box of V-Max Rising is I don't know, I think it's 5,000 yen, which comes to $46. And I got every card from that set except one, not counting secret rares. Secret rares are the shinies of the set. But the actual set is pretty much complete.
Wow.
And the only one I was missing, I think, was VMAX Rillaboom, and I pulled 3 VMAX Cinderaces instead. So
that's
and 1 Inteleon. I have purchased, not any of these sets. I did buy a box of Sword and Shield, which is 36 packs of 10 cards. So it's 36 packs, 10 cards each, $100, and not even close to completing the set with that one box. And that was buying a whole box, buying 2 Elite Trainer boxes, buying probably 20 single packs, and then buying like a couple of the, Toxtricity V-Box or Poltegeist V-Box, which comes with like 4 packs.
That's
not even
insane.
close to completing the set.
I have to imagine that. See, the last time I collected Pokemon cards, I mean, I bought a pack here and there. I'll buy it typically after you show off some really cool full artwork card. It gets me all like hyped up to buy more Pokemon cards because I don't play the TCG, but I do love collecting them from time to time.
Yeah.
It's just so overwhelming once I start to realize like how many there are to collect. Like, I can't imagine that that the percentage of people who buy Pokemon trading cards, there must be such a small amount that are like the completeness collector for them. I feel like, just because it's like so hard to come by all of them, especially when you have the secret rares now and all of that stuff, which like wasn't a thing back when I was collecting them, but this was like 2002 or whatever. So it's crazy.
The secret rares really kind of double down on the people who like to collect shinies, except when you're hunting in X and Y for a shiny, it doesn't cost you any money.
Right. Exactly.
Well, there are like some secret rares that are like worthless, like price wise, but you would still want them for your collection. Like, right. Oh, I need this secret rare. It's like $2 on Troll and Toad. I'll buy it. But when you're doing that for like 8 secret rares, or you get a secret rare that is pretty expensive, like I think, what was it? It was in a Sun and Moon set. It might have been like Guardians Rising or something. There's like a secret rare Charizard, which was like a reprint of an older Charizard. And that's like a $60 card.
Okay.
And so it's like, well, I have almost all of Sun and Moon. I'm missing some secret rares. I'm missing the secret rare Charizard. Oh, that just happens to be the most expensive card in the set. It's $60, but it's the one I'm missing.
Still cheaper than a box of packs.
That's true. Yeah,
which won't have it probably.
But then the question is, can I buy a box for $100? And is there enough cards in there that I can sell to make the $100 a pack?
Right. And do you sell your cards?
I did sell my entire collection right before X and Y came out. So
really?
I collected pretty much from Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Triumphant something. It was like the last Heart Gold, Soul Silver set. And then they moved into Black and White. So it was Black and White, and then it was like Emerging Powers, and then that was a really bad set. And then there was a bunch of other Black and White sets, and then it got into the Plasma Freeze and Plasma Storm and Plasma whatever. And so I collected all of that, mostly for competitive. And when I decided to get out of that, and I think there was probably a time in my life where I was like broke.
Right, sure.
Which is like every day of my life. But I ended up selling all those cards to Cool Stuff Inc. for about $750.
Wow.
And then I had 2 cards that I sold separately to a friend for $100 each. So that was altogether $950 of selling all of that. And I probably spent more than that though, because like every 3 months I spent probably $200 on cards. Right. So I would get like 2 boxes.
That's just
Steve,
like...
I think I figured out why you're broke.
Yeah. That's intense just doing that, like collecting. I have the entire very first set. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I still have that.
And I still have that, and I'm not getting rid of that. And because I was heavy into the collecting with the first set, the second, third, I don't know, it was like up until like the rocket cards or whatever, where they have the little like rocket face on the card. It's like a Rocket team member's Pokemon.
Yeah, like a Rocket, like Team Rocket's Charizard or Team
Giovanni's
Rocket's
Persian. Yeah. And it was like, then the gym leaders, and then they're the Rocket cards and all that. And then I stopped collecting.
So I think it was
Pokemon cards.
Base set, Jungle, Fossil, Rocket, and then Gym Leader.
I think Gym Leader might have been the last time that I was like heavily collecting the cards. And then since then, I've just like here and there, I'll buy a few packs or a box of something from time to time if I'm in the mood.
So Darkness Ablaze comes out August 1st. So plenty of time. Literally over 2 months.
This does bring up one interesting thing, though, right? Because this is the first time you can have an Eternamax Eternatus in any form. And so, when are they bringing it to the game, please and thank you?
I don't know if you know this, Al, but there are 2 DLCs coming out this year.
Are there?
There are. Last bit of news, super short, super easy. There's a ton of new merch on Pokemon Center. They brought the Mystery Dungeon plushes over, which are the little plushes with the ribbons around them. There is a purple Kecleon for Mystery Dungeon. It's not shiny. I keep hearing people call this shiny Kecleon. Purple Kecleon is not shiny Kecleon. It's just the weird color they decided for Mystery Dungeon. I think Kecleon has like... The only thing that changes in its shiny is like its Charlie Brown stripe changes from like blue to red or red to blue.
Oh, there's a purple Kecleon in the anime.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
It's just like the Butterfree, the Ash. Ashes.
Yeah.
Like that's not a shiny Butterfree. It's just a pink one.
Right.
Like the blue Magikarp in Magikarp Jump. Not shiny, but good looking. They added a bunch of outdoors. They added like an outdoor collection. So this features like Pikachu in like a little camping hat. And then they introduced a summer collection, which it's very weird that these 2 collections were close together, but I'm assuming due to like production delays with merchandise because of probably COVID, that one was supposed to come out earlier and it didn't. But there's a complete summer collection. With an inflatable Lapras pool floaty. If you're into that.
Isn't there an inflatable Lapras pool floaty thing in Quest? Isn't that one of the decoration items?
Oh, I think so, yeah. No, I think it's a Lapras pool. I think the back it's just... There are Pokeball beach balls. There's a fisherman hat. There's a bunch of thin summer hoodies. There's water bottles. And then for the camping stuff, there is like plates and cups. There's a cooler. There's fanny packs. And then there's like flannel. Because, you know, when you go camping, you wear flannel, obviously. So, yeah, a bunch of new stuff on Pokemon Center. And that's pretty much all our news.
Oh, should we talk about the Community Day vote results?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Weedle won.
Not much to say. Yeah, Weedle and Ghastly. So
I always find it funny how selfish Pokemon Go players are and how mad they were that people were voting for Squirtle. Like, look, not everyone was playing the game. Like, there are new players every single day to Pokemon Go.
Right. The people that were like, who's voting for Squirtle? Well, that Squirtle Community Day was 2 years ago.
Just trade somebody for it. Really?
Yeah.
That's like, I don't want to talk to any of you people.
Yeah.
Anyone saying just trade somebody for it is a person I don't want to trade with.
Yeah, I will say I was a little bummed that that Sandshrew didn't take second. I would have really liked a Sandshrew Community Day, but I still don't have a shiny Haunter, so I'll be okay with Ghastly Community Day in July, right? So it'll be Weedle in June and then Ghastly in July.
Yeah.
Yep.
No Greg this week, Bobby. So you are our question of the week. We need that theme song.
Okay. I've got nothing.
I've got something if you've got nothing.
How about Al? Why don't we flip it to Al? I know this is usually my thing when Greg's gone, but you know, Al's time back. Like, I feel like give him that shot.
And look, I've been preparing something. It's a little bit different from what Greg would normally do.
Oh, okay.
But I thought I'd bring a bit of my own culture to the podcast.
All right.
So please excuse me if this is dreadful. When I wake up, Well, I know I'm gonna be the man who answers the question of the week.
Hey, that was
There we
pretty
go.
good.
That's it.
I'm into that.
And for those who aren't aware, that is the Proclaimers, the beginning of the Proclaimers song, 500 Miles.
That was the final song that we played at my wedding for our reception. That was our final song at our reception.
All right, this is from Brandon with Galarian forms coming to raids. What are some non-Kanto Pokemon that you would want to get Galarian forms? That's a good question.
Okay, non-Kanto Pokemon that I'd want as a Galarian form. I'd say my two favorite Pokemon besides Farfetch'd are Smeargle and Mawile. So it would be really fun to have both of those as Galarian types, especially because neither of them are... Wait, because Smeargle's not in the game. So that would be fun. Is Mawile's not in Sword and Shield, is it?
Mawile is in Sword and Shield, yeah.
It is. Okay, well,
It's
so much for
like
that being one of my favorites.
of it's like the opposite of Sableye, I think. I think Sableye is exclusive to one, Mawile's exclusive to the other, I think.
Oh yeah, no, of course it is, because I definitely moved it up to through home and put it in my game, or at one point a shiny one. Yeah.
I think Hariyama would be good. I feel like Hariyama deserves a little love. It's a pure fighting type. Or did they like make a fighting fire? No, they've never made a fighting fire Pokemon ever.
Wait, are the Galarian... I've not looked into this at all, but are the Galarian form Pokemon all Pokemon that their non-Galarian form is a single type?
No, because Slowpoke was Psychic Water, and Galarian Slowpoke is Psychic.
Oh yeah, they like flipped the...
And then Corsola was like Water Rock, and its Galarian form is just Ghost, I think?
Okay, got it.
I before the game before the game came out, I really liked the idea of a Galarian... oh, goodness, his name is gone. Keldeo. I had Galarian Keldeo. But now we have Ponyta, which kind of takes over that. So what I was also thinking was, I think it'd be really nice to have a Galarian Lillipup line. I'm not sure how you would redesign it, but I just really like the idea of that line being associated with the region that is partly based on Scotland. But yeah, I don't know.
All right, you change
I
his
also
body
like
to a bagpipe. And then you're done. That's it.
All right, could there be a Pokemon that you could redesign into a haggis?
Oh boy.
Mareep.
What, just because it's a sheep?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Inside Out Mareep.
There's like a lot of Gen 5 love in Sword and Shield. I mean, they have the Yamask there, they have the Sigilif, they have the Scraggy. Garbodor's like the only non-Gen 1 Pokemon to get a G-Max form. No, not counting Gen 8 Pokemon, of course.
Oh yeah, that is true. Is it really the only non-Gen
1
Pokemon?
or Gen 8?
Gen 1 or 8?
Yeah.
I wonder how that decision came to be.
Because Garbodor is sweet.
Okay.
Man, there's so many I'm like looking at the list, and like the amount of Gen 5 Pokemon in Sword and Shield is actually incredible. There's no Bouffalant though, unfortunately. But we know Larvest is coming back.
Do we have any more? There hasn't been any more information on the DLC since we initially, right? Like,
no,
like another trailer or anything like that?
No, I would assume we'll probably get information this week or next week.
Right, yeah.
Well, tomorrow's June, so it's coming out tomorrow, right?
Right,
That's how it works.
They said June.
Where's my game? It is a bit weird. Do you think they've just kind of held off on any news because they thought there's a possibility it might be delayed? And they didn't want to say anything until they knew for certain?
Well, they're still putting out, I mean, obviously we still have things to talk about every week, so they're still putting out pretty frequent Pokemon news. I wonder if it was because obviously they're a Japanese company, and Japan had a state of emergency that just got lifted this past week. So maybe they were waiting for the state of emergency to be over.
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe.
They do have an advantage in that, unlike a normal game launch, they're not relying on physical media for this one, so they don't have that issue.
Yeah, that's if there's ever a time.
Yeah, but even with the Pikachu, Eevee, Meowth, and now the get your free Mr. Mime, Ponyta, Corsola, Meowth, another Meowth. I don't think any of these decisions have been last minute. I think these have always been in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Right.
And
but I guess the decision to delay would have probably been a last minute thing if they had to do it.
No, I think we're good. The only reason I could think of maybe they didn't want to say a date is if they needed just that extra week, not to finish the game. I think it's probably done at this point, but the extra week of hey, instead of putting it out on June 12th, let's just wait 2 weeks to the 26th, just because of world events or because of other things happening. So it gives them a little flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I do find it interesting that they never have done that for games, though, right? So obviously, they didn't know when they announced it that this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But they still didn't announce a date at that point, whereas almost every game, maybe not the very first one, there are some times where it's coming holiday or whatever, but normally by the second bit of information, which is normally only a month or so later, they generally have the date by that point.
But there's never been a second bit of information to give us a date, right? There was just the announcement of it, and then there hasn't really been any newer information.
There was the announcement, and then there was that Nintendo thing where it was 19 minutes long, and it opened with Xenoblade because it always opens with Xenoblade. And now that Xenoblade's out, we'll probably get 18 more trailers of Xenoblade this year.
Yeah, they definitely had more information in that one because they told us about the dojo in that one and stuff, and I don't think that was in the original announcement.
Yes, they said about the dojo, and then we saw the Slowpoke moving very quickly near the end of the trailer.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I was kind of merging those together in my head.
Yeah, and then they actually said Intellion out loud, and they said, is it Duraludon? I think they said Duraludon out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were that's how you say it.
So here's something interesting in that I just went to the Sword and Shield expansion pass page on the website, and they now say, because I'm pretty sure when they announced it, it was June 2020, but now it says scheduled for release by the end of June 2020. So that makes me think that it's going to be quite late on it.
I think they changed that with the Slowpoke trailer.
Oh, right, okay.
I think that's just a good that's a good term to just give them
by the
as
end.
Much time as possible, right? They could be it's coming out June 30th, so it just gives them as much time with that June date. It's just the best way to give them as much time as possible. Although I guess just saying June 2020 would also give them that same amount of time, but
yeah, I guess they're probably putting the focus on by the end of to just give people that expectation. It doesn't seem to have worked though.
Right.
Was it the 15th that most people are assuming at this point because of the mystery gifts?
So if we're looking at just Fridays, we have either June 5th, June 12th, June 19th, and June 26th.
Oh, it was the 19th.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So the Meowth event, I think, starts on the 15th, and then... Or no, not the 15th. I think it starts on the 11th or something.
Goes until the 19th or whatever, or the 18th or something.
I think it ends on the 18th, wasn't it? So it was a day before.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe.
That could be the plan. It's just they also have the option, like you were saying earlier, if they get closer to that and realize something's not going to work, or they need to give it maybe another week, they still have that that option since they've said until, by the end.
See if it comes out the 19th. I'm going to have a very busy couple of weeks because that's only a few days after Summer and Mara comes out. Oh, it's going to be so busy.
I think the 20th is also the Weedle Day.
Oh, it is. You're right. Yeah.
Of course. That means, of course, they're going to do it then because that would be the most annoying thing to do.
Because Sword and Shield came out the day before November's
which I think was
Chimchar Community Day.
Chimchar, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Patterns.
they like to have their events all together.
Yeah, we're talking about events earlier, right, Al? Events on events on events.
Events everywhere, yeah.
I'm actually hoping it's the 26th. I don't want another community day / game launch in the same weekend.
Yeah.
I think the end of June is fine. The next weekend goes into Independence Day for America, which most people have that Friday off.
Yep. I think that's also a good bet. I always like to think of whenever any announcement says a month, I always just, in my head, I put it right to the last day of that month so that I'm not, like, I never hype myself up for any time before then. And if it comes before then, nice little surprise. But
yeah,
I always just say last day of the month. It's
like when they say holiday 2020 or whatever, you're like, yeah, that's coming out on Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, well, no Pokemon of the week. Will and Greg out this week. They should be back next week, hopefully. Thank you, Bobby and Al, for being on. Bobby, your Twitter handle is... there's a dot or not a dot. I don't remember.
My Twitter is PKMNsnaps, and Instagram is PKMN.snaps.
And
then, Al, your Twitter, and you have another podcast.
Yeah, my Twitter is the Scottbot. Scott has one T because it's a nationality, not a name. And yeah, I do have another podcast with Rochelle, who's also been on this podcast before. We do a podcast called The Harvest Season, and that's all about farming games. So if you like farming games, such as Summer in Mara, which is coming out in 2 weeks, as mentioned, we'll be talking about that at some point.
Awesome. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at PKMNcast. I took the last couple days off streaming. So if you're listening to this on Monday, June 1st, Pokemon Go will be down. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people being like, why isn't Pokemon Go working? Number 2 is I'll be back streaming at 6 p.m. Central Time on June 1st. And we'll see together what the new raids will be at 7 p.m. Central Time. So we'll have an hour left of Meowth. So if you haven't done Meowth, we do raids on Mondays on Twitch. You can stop on by, do raids with me and other people in the community, and then we'll see what this new raid is at whenever it launches. I think that's it for the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end of the episode. In July will be our 10-year anniversary, so we'll have some stuff for that. Wherever you are in the world, be safe. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are...
Super Purple Kecleon.
Super Galar loves Unova.
Effective.
I want to take a second to thank the producers of this episode: Kevin, Sawyer, Potato, Raiton, Liam, Courtney, Casey, Kay, Noah, Patrick, Jetsy, Catherine, and Matthew. And to our executive producer, Anthony, thank you so much for your support of It's Super Effective. We couldn't do it without you and all the other listeners of our podcast. If you would like to support It's Super Effective, you can head over to ise.cash, join our Patreon, join our Slack, support our show, so we can continue doing this years in the future. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.